breathing thing moving on top of the site. And so today is that first day of placing that planting soil layer.
And then in May, they will start putting the plants in, like 5,000 native plants, creating a habitat for animals. They're not going to get to the point where they finish building the structure, which will go over the side road here. In other words, that's where the animals will come down after going over that ramp and come down here to the other side. And actually, people driving along this road will end up, they will be basically going through a tunnel to go underneath it. So pretty exciting. They say they're going to finish, hopefully, sometime at the end of next year.
All right, John Baird, live there. Thanks, John. 7:05.
Traffic now, Susie Jessup in the Downey Hyundai Traffic Center.
Well, the Sigler continues in Anaheim, right as you're making your way towards Disneyland on the southbound side of the 5. Right at Lincoln, only the slow lane is open, and you are backed up solid into Buena Park from before Beach Boulevard. Do not get onto that southbound side of the 5. In that backup, we had a collision at Brookhurst that was blocking the center divider. They had to get a tow truck in there and clear that, so that is added to that horrible ride. You're eastbound side of the 91 to the southbound 57, that's the way around it. But again, it's a little bit heavier than normal. Now, Sabino was talking about the Sigler we had in South OC and Dana Point, southbound side of the 5, right at Camino de las, this is Camino de Estrella, and that did clear. 3 left lanes are blocked. That did clear, but there's still going to be some slowing as you make your way in towards Dana Park for that point, for that southbound side of the 5. Making a big jump right now. The southbound side of the 405 still heavy and slow from Sherman Way to Sunset Boulevard. A collision cleared. Southbound side of the 405 at the 101. And Bobby checked in northbound side of the 5, San Fernando Road. He said there's a collision over the right shoulder, but there's debris scattered all across lanes, and I am seeing some slowing, Bobby, on that northbound side of the 5 coming away from the 118.
We got some rain out there. Let's go to the Weather Channel meteorologist Terry Smith.
Some light showers making their way across Southern California this morning. The cold front's up to the north, so that possibility of rain will continue through the morning and then slowly taper off in the afternoon. Not a lot of wet weather. By the time this wraps up, 0.2 of an inch, as much as a half inch in some spots today. Tomorrow, we're back to sunshine and just a little bit warmer. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith from the Weather Channel, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
Another earthquake hit the LA area. Happened last night around 8:30. Magnitude 3.2 shaker centered in the ocean, about 20 miles west of the shoreline at Rancho Palos Verdes. There's been 2 other earthquakes of magnitude 3 or higher this month. A 4.1 magnitude quake in Westlake Village, a 3.3 near Malibu. LA Times reporting an average of 5 earthquakes with magnitude 3 to 4 happen each year in the greater LA area.
Open up Topanga Canyon. That's the message from a group of business owners at a rally yesterday.
It's to get the issue to the governor so that he will just declare a state of emergency, and they'll start working on our road.
Kind of a block party they held right at the closure there. Boulevard's been closed since the fires and then took even more damage during the storm. Small business owners say they're just really struggling.
Of course we worry. It's like a hit or miss because a lot of us, we don't know what days to open, how many days to open.
She owns a small cosmetic shop and talks to KCAL News. 4-mile stretch of road that's closed from PCH to just below Grandview. Still no date from Caltrans on when it may reopen, but they've been working.
Today, the deadline for victims of the Palisades and Eaton fires to apply for FEMA disaster assistance. More on this now from Karen Adams.
Applying for FEMA, SBA, and disaster unemployment assistance all ends today. But opting in to the Army Corps of Engineers debris removal program has been extended to April 15th. And the program is now being extended to owners of condos, townhomes, and certain commercial businesses. But some homeowners in Altadena not choosing to opt in say they've been told getting a permit to clear their lots could take a year. This contractor says it's been frustrating.
This is a multi-million-dollar marketing campaign. Opt in, get involved in the government program. It is a monopoly. They've been slow rolling us from the beginning.
LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger says she's been monitoring the permitting process for fire victims.
I'm not going to accept it. You know, when I talk to this couple, they have a licensed architect, licensed engineer, who are not going to put their license in jeopardy by submitting anything that's going to compromise health and safety. How dare we tell them it's going to take almost a year? How dare we?
She says of the 132 permit applications submitted to the county, only 2 have been approved. I'm Karen Adams, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
Somebody won the Powerball in Anaheim, $526 million. The spokesperson with the state lottery saying most important thing is to keep that ticket in a safe spot.
They need to store it somewhere incredibly safe, whether that's a safe at home in their closet, a safe deposit box. We've heard stories about people putting it in zip Ziploc bags in the freezer. But one way or the other, you got to keep that safe because, like I said, without that piece of paper, there is no ability for us to award a prize.
Ticket was sold at a 7-Eleven off Euclid there in Anaheim. Store owner gets $1 million for selling the winning ticket.
You know, we've told you about a stretch of businesses that were set to close along the Sunset Strip. At least one of them now has been saved. It is Le Petit Four, French restaurant that's been in business for more than 40 years. They initially announced plans to close due to rising costs, drop in foot traffic, rent increases too. But people, well, they started to rally, set up a GoFundMe campaign. Owners telling the WeHo Times reservations started to surge. Yeah, good news there. They want people to keep spreading the word so they can keep the doors open long term at 7-Eleven.
Own an older home? It's at high risk for earthquake damage. Protected with a seismic retrofit from Golden Retrofit. Call for a free inspection. 888-999-0609. 888-999-0609 or goldenretrofit.com.
Well, new week, Monday morning, we can do something for you that's really going to make a difference. You need a simple solution for the hair loss, something that's going to work because it's definitely starting to happen. You're noticing a receding hairline or bald spot or thinning hair. We can fix all that, or like a combination of, if you go to the right place. And that's Advanced Hair, because with Advanced Hair, you're working with the pro team that has the Advanced Hair Guarantee, which means it's going to grow back and then keep on going for the rest of your life. They have completely redefined hair restoration from the experience itself right through the door. You're going to be like, this is a place that I know I like already. I like this team, to the unmatched results they can get for you. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, yep, they fixed it all. They've done it tens of thousands of times. Because they've got the best doctors around, and they've got the latest technology. This is the new stuff. This is not from years ago, 10, 20 years ago. No, some other places are still doing that. This is better. It's your own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day, and nobody else can offer the kind of combination they can. So look at the before and after pictures and videos and all these reviews at advancedhair.com, and then call them up for the free consultation, 844-333-HAIR, 844-333-HAIR. If you qualify, you get $250 off. You get 250 free hair grafts. 844-333-HAIR, advancedhair.com.
Did you know that every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care? It's a no-cost maintenance plan that covers all normal factory scheduled service for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever comes first. All work is performed by factory-trained technicians using genuine Toyota parts. Toyota Care will keep your new Toyota running like, well, a Toyota. Valid only in the continental U.S. and Alaska. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Everything you need to find your perfect Toyota is right at your fingertips at Toyota.com. Explore our full lineup of vehicles. Compare features side by side. Search our available inventory. You can even find the best local offers. Everything you need is just a few clicks away on Toyota.com. So for your next Toyota car, truck, or SUV, just visit Toyota.com. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Sony Pictures Classic proudly presents Becoming Led Zeppelin, the biggest rock and roll film this year. Now playing in theaters nationwide and coming back in IMAX for one night only on April 2nd. Becoming Led Zeppelin explores the origins of this iconic group, powered by awe-inspiring, never-before-seen footage, performances, and music. Now playing only in theaters and back in IMAX for one night only on Wednesday, April 2nd. Get tickets now at BecomingLedZeppelinFilm.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com. Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Good morning, I'm Mike Simpson.
And I'm Larry Farrell in for Vicki Moore up ahead on KNX News 97.1 FM. Why bamboo is being removed from the beach in Palos Verdes.
UCLA women in the Final Four and an egg recall now to add to the egg prices. Traffic's brought to you by Mosley Wealth Management. Here's Susie Jessup.
You know, all lanes just open, literally just open on the southbound side of the 5. At Lincoln has been closed. All lanes have been closed, and then they opened up the slow lane since 2 a.m. this morning. Very serious wreck. That is now clear and all lanes open. Southbound 5 at Lincoln and Anaheim, but that backup still is coming away from Valley View. Hopefully that should dissipate soon. We have another problem in Los Alamitos for the 605. Rita has the info with your Southern California Toyota dealers in IView.
Yeah, that's right, Susie. The crash is actually westbound 22 at Studebaker, leaving the 405-605 connectors, a car that went over the side. But that 605 southbound is tough from Carson Street, heading all the way through Los Alamitos to the 405-22.
You know, Alan just checked in on the northbound side of the 110 past Avenue 26. He said a car flipped over. Now, all lanes are completely shut down, and I am seeing that backup, Alan. They're trying to open up the left lane, but traffic is jam-packed from before the 4 level for that northbound side of the 110. Making a big jump to the 118 westbound, where we got a call from Dave from Simi Valley. He was right on the westbound side of the 118 before Rocky Peak. He said there's a jackknife big rig there, and that was blocking the 2 right lanes. I'm seeing traffic starting to load up through there as well. We had a couple callers on the northbound 5 at San Fernando Mission, where we did have a collision and a lot of debris in lanes blocking the 2 right lanes, northbound side of the 5 and southbound side of the 5, flow through that stretch of roadway. How much do you have for retirement, your tax-deferred account? Whether it's $100,000 or several million, you'll pay real taxes when you need it. Go to easemytaxbill.com and find out how much money you'll really have and how much you may save if you're smart. Easemytaxbill.com. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 from Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Mostly cloudy and cool this afternoon as we are looking at light rain that could continue to slight chance of showers as we head towards the afternoon. But overall, today temperatures are going to sit well below average. Low for the coast, mid-60s for LA and Orange County, mid-60s for the valleys, mid-60s for the Inland Empire, mid-60s for the high deserts, upper 40s for the mountains. And that's your next weather forecast. I'm KCAL News meteorologist Ian Burley for KNX News 97.1 FM.
Well, it's the first time in program history, UCLA heading to the NCAA Women's Final Four on Friday. More
third-seeded LSU made a late push against the top overall seeded Bruins in the regional final in Spokane, but some clutch shooting got the Bruins through to next weekend's national semifinals in Tampa.
Dump it in, kick it out, back 3.
That was the call from ESPN's Ryan Rocco as UCLA won it 72-65. Hawkeyes led the Bruins with 18 points. Up next could be an epic clash with arch rival USC in the Final Four on Friday, which many people expected heading into the tourney. But the road got a lot tougher for the top-seeded Trojans with the loss of injured star Juju Watkins, and in their regional final, they must face a UConn squad that demolished Oklahoma by 23 points in the Sweet 16. USC is a 13.5-point underdog for Monday night's game as they seek their first trip to the Final Four since 1986. I'm Brian Payne, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Kim Delaney, you might remember her from NYPD, believe arrested over the weekend, felony assault charge. Sheriff's deputies called out to her home in Marina Del Rey, ended up arresting her and her husband, James Morgan. TMZ says the two had gotten into arguments and it got physical. Back in 2002, she was arrested for DUI in Malibu. They both have court appearances scheduled for tomorrow.
Comedian Paul Rodriguez claims he was roughed up by officers during his arrest in Burbank on Friday night. Here's Elsa Ramon.
The 70-year-old comedian and actor has been busted for alleged drug possession after Burbank police pulled over a car he was in over the weekend. He denies the charge and says he was a passenger in the car being driven by a female friend when police stopped it for a code violation Friday night. That's when police say they found some kind of drug during a search. After being booked and released, Rodriguez told TMZ the drugs belonged to the friend and not him. He said he was actually sleeping at the time until he was slapped awake by an officer he says seemed to be on a power trip. He said he is considering filing an official complaint. He's due to appear in court on April 25th. TMZ says his friend is still in jail because of some outstanding warrants. I'm Elsa Ramon, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Palos Verdes Estates bringing in some helicopters to remove bamboo along the shoreline of Laguna Bay. Plans to get the work done today. Quite the operation. Crew's going to hike down, cut the bamboo out, and the helicopters will fly it out so they don't have to hike the clippings all the way back up. Daily Breeze that says all this is actually stemming from the lawsuit over the Bay Boys. Remember that? Local surfers accused of harassing and intimidating the out-of-towners. As part of the settlement, the city was tasked with making Madonna Bay more welcoming, and part of that, they say, is removing this non-native bamboo.
There's a new egg holder. Yeah, now a recall. Here's CBS's Matt Piper.
Check the fridge for liquid egg products produced in March. More than 100,000 32-ounce cartons of egg beaters and Bob Evans veteran eggs are under recall because they may be contaminated with a cleaning solution. The USDA says the risk of illness is negligible, but you should throw away or return the affected product.
The cartons of the liquid eggs sold in California, they were produced on March 12th and 13th and have the number G1804 printed on the box. It's 7:20.
Let's check your money. We got Scott Carr.
Hey there, good morning, Mike and Larry. United Airlines, they say the FAA is giving the go-ahead now for its new Embraer 175 planes. That'll be equipped with Starlink internet capabilities. United, the first major U.S. airline to adopt Elon Musk's satellite connectivity service for in-flight Wi-Fi. They expect they'll have more than 300 of the newly equipped planes before the end of the year. The first flight with those set for May. The Trump family says to launch a Bitcoin-focused venture now, creating another link between the president and crypto. The Trumps are rolling out the American Bitcoin Corporation along with a partner. They'll focus on Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin reserve development. Another day in the red for markets, mainly because investors are worried about President Trump's plans for fresh tariffs being put in place Wednesday. The risk that tariffs will hurt the economy driven the S&P 500 to a more than 5% plunge. In the first quarter this year, the Dow is now down 184 points. I'm Bloomberg Scott Carr from the Barrister office, Sweets Money Desk on KNX News 97.1 FM.
I'm listening to y'all right now. KNX News, huh? You guys give us updated traffic info, weather. I just love listening to y'all, man. Y'all make my day.
Southern California's news is
I really appreciate it.
KNX News 97.1 FM.
If you want to sell your home, you have to know the market has changed with the drastic rise in interest rates. And that means it's important to take action now. Before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. Seller's Advantage is a great alternative for selling your home. No dealing with agents, commissions, and paying for repairs and waiting months to sell. They will make you a competitive cash offer and can close in days. No agents, no commissions. Seller's Advantage makes the selling process easy so that sellers walk away happy. See what other sellers have to say and check out their reviews. If you're ready to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage. They may even offer a $10,000 advance to help with moving expenses. Call for a no-obligation offer at 888-AS-IS. 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-2747 and visit sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, self-happy with Seller's Advantage. Snakes, zombies, public speaking, the list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hands when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Now, Taxes is having a TurboTax expert do your taxes and get you every dollar you deserve. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Give DowneyHyundai.com a try. New or used, they guarantee to satisfy.
Dairy Queen celebrating its 85th birthday with an 85-cent Blizzard fruit next Sunday. You ever have these things, Mike? The Blizzards? Yeah, we like them. Yeah, they're pretty good. The fast food, really good, actually. The fast food chain also introducing 2 new flavors to its summer lineup. Mixing Bowl Mashup. That's a brownie batter chocolate chip cookie dough combo. Dipped strawberry cheesecake in chunks of cheesecake, chocolate and strawberry toppings. That's pretty good, too. As usual, you have to be a DQ Rewards member and make a $1 or more purchase to get a small 85-cent Blizzard. You save about $5.
After you have your Blizzard, remember to do your crunches. They've been looking at different exercises, and they say this one, which always comes at the end of the workout, is the very worst. Is super beneficial to your health. So crunches, kind of like a modified sit-up, type of resistance training. Good for your abs. The heart doctor at the University of Minnesota telling USA Today, since the movement is smaller than your usual sit-up, you can control the momentum more. That demands more endurance, more stability from your core. Also, they put less strain on your lower back muscles and joints. They can especially help people with back pain. Fitness instructors say they strengthen your lower back, reducing the risk of injury and they can improve flexibility. So crunch is not just good for your abs, but more of your body.
Why do people wait until the very end of their workout?
Just find a shot.
Yeah, seriously.
To watch you shake on the floor. Yeah. Traffic brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorney Susie Jessup.
All lanes open and clear in Anaheim for that southbound side of the 5, which is a serious wreck involving a fatality, and they opened up all lanes. It happened around 2 a.m. All lanes are closed. They opened up one lane, and now all lanes are completely open. Southbound side of the 5 at Lincoln, but still a heavy and slow backup from before Beach Boulevard. I'm going to give this about 15, 20 minutes before this clears up. We also have a really heavy and slow ride in the 57 into Diamond Bar. Speeding out the info with your Southern California Toyota dealers, Instant iView.
Yeah, it looks like they were holding lanes, or CHP was stopping traffic to move a car that was in the center divider, southbound side of the 57 at Sunset Crossing before the 60, and that was causing a backup. Also, this is a Surface Street incident. A lot of extra delays on Retchie Canyon Road. There's a closure at Prado. It's an accident investigation. Someone was killed in an accident, and they're turning cars around, so you want to avoid Retchie Canyon Road instead of the 215. I would stick to the freeway.
You know, you're right on the northbound side of the 110, Avenue 43. Car flipped over. Now the two right lanes are blocked. Donna from Palms got caught in this. Really heavy and slow. She was jam-packed. And it's heavy and slow as, from before downtown Los Angeles. Well, the northbound side of the 110, wow, it is slow from Manchester as you make your way through the downtown spot. It really starts to load up. Basically, from before the 4 level, stays heavy and slow to Avenue 40. Avenue 43. Two right lanes. Try to stick to the left. They do have one lane open through there. Jackknife Big Rig. And for Dennis from Sea Valley, this is for the westbound side of the 118 ride at Rocky Peak. Downtown LA Law Group is motorcycles to a $10 million injury settlement if you've been hurt in a car, truck, motorcycle accident. Text injury help to 40222, injury help to 40222, or type call downtown into your search bar. Health has only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 to the Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Rain out there this morning, nothing too major, but some shower activity, light rain, some drizzle, just depending on where you are. Still moving on through, and we'll get more of this as we go through the day, maybe a little bit this evening. Then it should be done until our next round. Just some light stuff might happen tomorrow night. So real chance of rain is going to be Thursday, though. So we'll be watching that. Until then, we're kind of just doing the 60s, the beaches to valleys to 50s as you go a little bit higher up. Tomorrow and Wednesday, some more sun, but yeah, just keeping these kind of temperatures. 20 minutes of nonstop news in 3 minutes, 7:27.
If you're a house painter, you're not going to like what I have to say, but homeowners everywhere need to hear it. Hi, I'm Steve, creator of Deluxe Life Coat. Sick of shelling out big bucks to have your house painted only for it to fade in a few years? That's why I developed Deluxe Life Coat, a permanent solution to repainting. It's 20 times thicker, so it makes traditional house paint look like watercolors. After one application of Deluxe Life Coat, you'll probably never have to see us again, because it's guaranteed to last as long as you own your home. Deluxe Life Coat saves you thousands in maintenance costs and can even reduce your energy bill. Plus, we have the best lifetime warranty in the industry that covers flaking, peeling, and yes, even cracking. What paint can say that?
Call now to get 20% off your order, plus no interest for 2 years. Call 800-968-9200. 800-968-9200. That's 800-968-9200. Certain terms and conditions apply. CSLB number 1052855.
Attorney advertising. This is a legal alert for victims of the Eaton fire. If your family suffered injury or property damage at your home or business due to the Eaton fire, you may have a claim for damages from SCE, and Robbins Cloud is here to help. Early reports suggest that a Southern California Edison transmission tower may have played a role in the cause of the fire. It is important you understand your rights against SCE and how to secure compensation from your insurance carrier. Robbins Cloud, with a 30-year track record of winning even the most difficult cases, will be hosting a free informational workshop at the Hilton Pasadena on Tuesday, April 1st from 5:30 till 7:30 p.m. From the fire attorneys at Robbins Cloud, you will learn how to protect your rights against all parties. Attend the free informational workshop at the Hilton Pasadena on Tuesday, April 1st from 5:30 till 7:30 p.m. Robbins Cloud LLP is a California-based law firm.
Have you heard the refinancing rule of thumb that says you have to drop your rate at least 0.5% to refi because it'll take several years of savings to recoup the closing costs for a refi? Well, Loan Exchange says the rule is nonsense. With a loan exchange, Exchange Free Closer, you can lower your rate without paying any cost whatsoever. That's right, lower your rate with no cost, and your balance doesn't go up. You start saving on the first day you have the loan, and every day thereafter. If you decide to move next year or rates drop further, you can exchange that loan for another without losing a dollar that was tied up in closing costs. Today's 30-year fixed-free closer rate in APR is 5.99%. So if your current mortgage rate is higher than 5.99%, give the Loan Exchange a call at 855-752-9944 or log on to theloanexchange.com. It won't cost you a thing. NMLS 1637539. Loan subject to credit approval. See website for licensing information, loan terms and conditions. Equal housing lender. Call 855-752-9944 or visit theloanexchange.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guy.
20 minutes of non-stop news starts now on KNX News 97.1 FM.
Brought to you by Ozeron Law, the injured workers hotline.
7:30, Mike Simpson and Larry Perrell. He's in for Vicky Moore. Lots of red. Stocks are down again with the president pushing these new tariffs this week. Anaheim had a Powerball winner, so at least that person's not worried about money. Wildlife crossing over the 101 hits a milestone, but first, we're looking at these gas prices.
Yeah, been a big spike in gas prices over the past few days, and it is only expected to get worse over the coming week. The average price of a gallon of regular gas in LA County now at $4.81. That is up more than 10 cents over the past 3 days. In OC, it's up to $4.79 a gallon. We spoke to Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan about all this. He tells us there are several reasons for the recent spike.
Temperatures are warming up. Americans are getting out and about. Spring break travelers are out there hitting the road. So yes, demand going up is part of the seasonal conversations. Refinery maintenance and the switch over to summer gasoline are basically the three reasons why gas prices go up virtually every spring.
Yeah, here's the warning, too. He says prices could go up another 10 to 25 cents in the next week. Could eventually hit $5 a gallon later this spring.
To Agora Hills now, where they're getting down to the dirt at the wildlife crossing. It's reaching a new milestone there, the crossing over the 101 for the animals. John Baird, he is live with more. John?
Well, it's a pretty massive structure looking here down from the road up at the structure over the freeway. It's pretty huge. They've still got a lot of work to do. They've got people up there taking a tour, but basically when this is all done, it will come down over this side road, and that's basically the ramp for the animals to come down. So they go up one ramp over the freeway and down the other side, and that's what this will be. And, you know, the whole point is to save the animals so, you know, they don't get killed crossing the freeway. That's been a big deal with the mountain lions. I was talking to Robert Rock. He's the CEO of the company involved in designing this whole thing. He's been working with Caltrans, and he says it is a big deal to get the dirt layered on top of this thing. That's what they're starting today.
Well, I mean, we're at a kind of turning point in the construction of the project, because seeing the living layers go on top of the structure is a really important moment where we start to change from things that are kind of structural and tectonic to things that are more ecological and very site-specific.
And what he's trying to say there is they're going to build a habitat. So they put the soil down, eventually the plants down, and then things will start to grow. It'll become a habitat for all these animals and butterflies and things. And then, you know, sometime toward the end of next year, they will finish this where they will bring the ramp down over the side road, and, you know, people traveling up and down it will be going through a tunnel essentially, but this is how the animals will be able to get safely across, and that's what this is all about.
All right, John Baird reporting live. John, thanks. A driver was trapped in a vehicle after crashing into 3 Orange County Sheriff's SUVs in Stanton. Sheriff's deputies responding to a car fire at a Shell gas station at Beach and Orangewood happened around 1 o'clock in the morning. They blocked off the street so they could investigate. The deputies say shortly after, the driver going at a high rate of speed drove into the closed-off area, slammed into the sheriff's vehicle. OC Fire Authority firefighters have cut open the car to get that driver out. That person taken to the hospital. None of the deputies were hurt.
A bunch of people protesting this plan to use the Altadena Golf Course as a temporary place to process the fire debris. Woman whose home survived the Eden fire telling KCAL News it's just too close to the neighborhood. They're worried about toxic chemicals getting kicked up.
We're here because we're scared. You know, we've been scared since January 7th, since the fire started. We've been told our homes are toxic, and we're scared to return to our homes.
Army Corps says they chose that site because it's close to the burn zone. Cleanup's going to go faster that way. Materials recycling set to begin this morning. They're out there right now.
The person who nailed all 6 numbers in the Powerball drawing over the weekend hasn't come forward yet. winning ticket sold at a 7-Eleven store in Anaheim. Carolyn Becker is a spokesperson with the California Lottery. She says if this is you, you may want to take some steps to protect your identity.
Whoever has that winning ticket needs to make sure to hang on to it. They probably want to keep their news to themselves or to their closest advisors, people they trust. Once word gets out, you never know who might try to call you and get their hands on that money.
The Powerball website revised the initial jackpot from $515 million to $526 million. Becker said most big winners do take a lump sum, in this case roughly $245 million. It is 7:35.
Talking about these tariffs and the effect on the markets. Again, new tariffs set to take effect on Wednesday, and the trade war continues. So we'll have that right after traffic. But Susie Jessup now in the Downey Hyundai Traffic Center.
We have a lot of slick roadways. I'm seeing a lot of solo car spinouts. And you're right on the northbound side of the 5. This is in San Fernando at San Fernando Mission. This collision, we had all lanes completely closed because there was a lot of debris in the roadway. CHP ran a traffic brake to clear this, and now looks like there's some guardrail repair, but everything's over the right shoulder, but still a tough crawl on that northbound side of the 5. I would say from about Osborne as you make your way from San Fernando Mission, and then a pretty good speed as you head in towards the New Hall Pass. Southbound 405 really heavy and slow from Sherman Way as you make your way to Sunset Boulevard. We had 2 separate wrecks, one right past the 101, that's over the right shoulder, and another one on the northbound 405 connector to the 101. This collision was blocking the slow lane. Mr. Harvey from Encino called. I got a couple calls on this. Southbound side of Sepulveda, right at Royal Hill. This is just south of Skirball. There's a car that hit a tree. The right lane is blocked. He said it's about a 3 to 5 minute delay through there, but again, they're coordinating everyone off into the left lane, southbound side of Sepulveda Boulevard. Once you pass Royal Hill, though, good speeds on that southbound side.
20 minutes of non-stop news brought to you by Ozeron Law, the Injured Workers Hotline. President said he's looking forward to Wednesday. He calls that Liberation Day. It's all about the tariffs. Some more of them set to roll out this week, including the 25% tariffs on the cars not made here in the USA, that reciprocal tariffs. So as we told you last week, maybe just don't look at the 401k because the markets have been going way down. We're live now with Bloomberg's Ryan Vlastelica. Ryan, I was just watching somebody doing some of the commentary on this, and they were saying, look, we had the big drop Friday. We're doing this today. By the time we get to Liberation Day, come or go with those tariffs, we've already priced them in by worrying about them so much.
Well, that's one way of looking at it, I suppose, but I think the main issue that is driving markets right now is just how uncertain everyone is about everything, about the economic outlook going forward. We really don't have a full understanding of, the entire tariff situation in terms of how they will be levied on what kinds of products, how long they will be in place, if there's going to be retaliation, if there's going to be a retaliation to that retaliation. And when you have a backdrop like this, that really just means that businesses are very much stuck. They don't know how to invest. They're unlikely to put, new investments on, just given how uncertain the market is. And that just leads to a real potential contraction in overall economic activity. That is the concern right now.
All right, so you're talking about these markets being in the reaction, basically reactionary is what's happening. Is there anything more to it? In other words, will time simply heal all wounds here, do you think?
Well, I think once we get a little bit more clarity on what the tariff policy are going to look like, once we get maybe some clarity on what tax policy might look like, when we get a sense of the full effect of government spending cuts from the DOGE group, all that might allow people to kind of reassess where things look right now and maybe start looking for places in the market that look attractive. But until we get that kind of clarity, everyone I've spoken to, remains pretty on guard and pretty reluctant to, as they say, try to catch a falling knife.
I'm wondering if there's a rush on cars, end of the month and before this, and go get one and before the prices maybe go up. When you've been looking around and looking at what some of these automakers are saying, what have you found in terms of any increases that we could see? Because it's hard to pin down who's making what where, and as we know, some of these parts and some of these cars go back and forth across borders multiple times. And look, I feel like pointing out that there are not as many new cars under 30 grand anymore that exist. Like, we're still floating in the 40s and 50s a lot of the time right now when you're out looking for something.
Well, you just kind of, that's the real kind of point right here, is there is so much uncertainty about all this stuff. I've heard about, what if the cars are made in the U.S., but if the parts come from abroad, how are those subject to tariffs? Like, all this stuff is just a real question mark right now. We don't know what the impact is going to be on prices. We don't know what the impact of that is going to be on consumers. And again, when you have all these kinds of big questions out there, that just causes people to be a lot more cautious with how they're investing.
Well, certainly, there are going to be some impacts for sure. Again, like you say, we don't know exactly what they are going to be, but how do you think this is going to affect the used car market? With this impact and rise in pricing, Will people simply maybe just hold on to their used cars because it's essentially a wash?
Well, I can say I don't really cover the car market. I focus on tech stocks here, so that's a little bit out of my purview, but certainly that seems kind of logical. If people are concerned about higher prices and so forth, it seems logical that people might not trade up or trade in. So that would certainly seem logical to me, but it's not an area I can speak to with too much authority.
Like the COVID thing all over again, the chip shortage all over again. When the new car prices go up, people try and turn to used, but then there aren't enough used cars, and the used car prices go up, and then we get everything going up at the same time. All right, Bloomberg's Ryan Blastelica on all the uncertainties that we've had recently, and some more people starting to use that stagflation word too, where prices are still going up, but growth has slowed. Others saying, no, way too early to talk about that, and please don't use that word. It's just scary. True. You're in 20 minutes of nonstop news, and we've got more right here. Protests against Tesla are spreading, and it's getting harder for home buyers to go and get a mortgage, especially those first-time home buyers. 20 minutes of nonstop news here on KNX News.
Well, President Trump says there are ways he could serve a third term as commander-in-chief.
In a telephone interview Sunday with NBC's Kristen Welker, President Donald Trump says, "I'm not joking about trying to serve a third term." And he says there are methods which you could do it. The 22nd Amendment of the Constitution says no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. Trump will be 82 years old at the end of his second term, and he suggests that Americans would go along with a third term because he has the, quote, highest poll numbers of any Republican for the last 100 years, end quote. That is false. Trump's approval rating has maxed out at 47%, according to Gallup. President George W. Bush's approval rating reached 90% following the September 11, 2001 attack. And his father's approval rating hit 89% following the Gulf War in 1991. I'm Donna Warder.
Wisconsin is a swing state. There's an election there that's being closely watched, and it's had a lot of money spent on it. Now there's even more for a Supreme Court seat. Elon Musk has given out $1 million checks to 2 Wisconsin voters. He says, "You're not spokespeople for my political group." This is ahead of the Wisconsin Supreme Court election tomorrow. He says this is critical to the president's agenda, and then what he says is the future of civilization.
The reason for the checks is that it's really just to get attention. It's like we need to get attention, and somewhat inevitably, when I do these things, the sort of it causes the legacy media to kind of lose their mind.
Get attention. World's richest man supporting the conservative candidate for the open seat. Liberal justices right now hold a 4-3 majority. Retirement this year of the liberal justice puts the majority control of the court in play, and they're thinking they're going to get a court case on redrawing some of the congressional maps someday. So it could go one way or the other.
And protests at nearly 300 Tesla dealerships across the U.S. this weekend, including right here in L.A., voicing concerns about Musk's political influence.
Chanting Elon Musk has got to go, protesters took to the streets outside Tesla showrooms across the country Saturday, including this one in Berkeley, California. Demonstrator Judith Barrett.
The protest is ostensibly aimed at Elon Musk.
Much of Musk's estimated $340 billion fortune consists of his stock in Tesla, and the billionaire is leading the Trump administration's cuts to federal workers and programs. Protester Dennis Bagley says he has too much power.
We need to stop this, or we'll lose our whole country and everything that's good about the United States.
Protests were also held outside Tesla showrooms in Europe. I'm Julie Walker.
Another SpaceX launch plan for tonight. They're going to try and do something that hasn't been done before.
The flight is called Fram-2. It's named after a polar exploration ship, and it will be the first human space flight to be shot into a polar orbit. That is circling above the North and South Poles. It's not really an exploratory mission.
They really are focusing heavily on video documentation of the poles from space.
CBS News space consultant Bill Harwood.
Most of these crew members are polar adventurers. They visited the North and South Poles to either film it, document it, or to hike and explore.
The man signing the check is a Bitcoin billionaire born in China. He's now a Maltese citizen. His crewmates are from Norway, Australia, and Germany. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
They'll try it at 6:45, and if they can't do that, they've got other chances over the next 4 hours.
We have a sad story to report today. As former KNX anchor and longtime political reporter Alex Sullivan has died. Our Pete Demetrio reports when it came to covering government, he was among the best in the field.
During 36 years at KNX, from 1968 to 2004, Alex Sullivan both anchored and reported on politics, mainly from LA City Hall to the Board of Supervisors, covering mayors ranging from Sam Yorty through James Hahn. Plus, state and national political figures. David Isaias, an editor, writer, and producer who worked with for 2 decades, said when Sullivan leveled questions at politicians, either in news conferences or one-on-one interviews, he got answers.
He cut to the chase very quickly, and because of his knowledge of the background and, his time doing various stories, no politician was going to be able to sort of dance around him. He was going to get right to the point, the answer right away, and try to get it on the air.
And Alex was known for his doggedness in getting the facts.
You have to press some of these people, and Alex was good at pressing, and he a lot of times would say, I think I got what we needed, but it wasn't, the first question, it was maybe the 10th question.
Alex Sullivan died last Friday. He was 93 years old. I'm Pete Demetrio, KNX News 97.1 FM.
It is 7:45. Traffic now. Susie Jessup, brought to you by Yamava Resort and Casino at Samuel.
We have a slow ride on the northbound side of the 110 as you make your way into Montecito Heights. There was a car that flipped over. At times, all lanes were blocked. Now their CHP is holding the 2 right lanes. Getting a lot of calls about this, and your northbound lanes of the 110 slow. From before the 10, it's really heavy and slow, especially from the 4 level as you make your way to Montecito Heights. Stick to the left. Once you pass that, then there's decent speeds as you make your way in towards South Pasadena. Now, I did get a call from Gary. He was absolutely stopped in the southbound side of the 110. Looks like we have another car facing the wrong way in the slow lane. Southbound side of the 110, right at York. It's blocking the York off-ramp. And I am seeing slow lane as you make your way through South Pasadena in towards Highland Park. Sabina has lucky ride in the 5 through Anaheim with your Southern California Toyota dealers in St. Ivy.
Yes, Susie, the signal cleared, but it is still really busy on the southbound side of the 5 from Orangethorpe all the way through to Ball Road, and then you get a bit of a break to the 22. 22 eastbound still slow from before Euclid all the way through to the Orange Crush. There was an earlier crash there and a new crash eastbound 22 at the 605 northbound. It's the car that went over the side.
Steve Tony checked in westbound 60 at Atlanta. He said a multi-car crash blocking the left lane and also the right lane. Making a jump right now to your right on the northbound side of the 5. Right at San Fernando Mission, that earlier problem involving a lot of debris. They closed all lanes. Everything's clear. They're doing guardrail repair. Still some slowing as you come out of Arleta. And wow, I've got so many calls on this for the westbound 118. Right past Finga Canyon by Rocky Peak. Now that is a SIG alert. Westbound 118, the 2 right lanes are blocked. Jackknife Big Rig to blame. That day just became max day at Yamava Resort Casino at Salmon Well. 500 winners will share $1 million on April 15th. Be part of the most cash payouts in history only at Yamava, voted #1 casino in the country. Details at Yamava.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5s from Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
20 minutes of nonstop news. Let's talk a little bit more about these gas prices. As you've seen at the pump, they've been on the rise. And we talked to the gas buddies Patrick DeHaan about what's behind this latest increase.
A lot of this is refinery snags, continued refinery outages as maintenance continues to occur, and of course the loss of the PBF refinery up in Martinez from a fire over a month ago is also causing a thorn in the side of motorists. All of this to say that the switch over to summer gasoline, rising demand, refinery maintenance, and unscheduled outages have contributed to about a 10-cent jump in gas prices over the last week. The average now in LA, $4.73 a gallon. While that's 36 cents lower than it was a year ago when prices averaged $5.09, we likely will continue to see prices go up another 10 to 25 cents a gallon over the next week or so as supply continues to tighten because of these refinery outages and maintenance.
So the big move to the summer blend is almost done, but we still see the prices going up more.
The switchover is basically complete now for California, but it's not as simple as it sounds. The switchover for California is done, but there's also several different blends that refineries are now producing. While the phase-in has happened at the refining level, the summer gasoline is working its way towards pumps in both northern and southern and central California as well at varying paces. The complexity is not only the difference in the types of fuel and the rollout dates, but California refineries also produce fuel that gets into Nevada, Arizona, Washington, and Oregon, and those areas all have different gasoline specifications. So what that means is refineries are having a difficult time amidst maintenance producing all these various blends of fuel.
And DeHaan says the lack of refineries in the state is going to be a major problem going forward.
The difficult thing now is that, California has consistently seen a drop in refining capacity. Its regulatory environment has made it very difficult for refineries to stay in business, to invest where it makes sense, to keep output going. And so that's the other challenge, is that not only in light of all the things we've talked about, a refinery outage and refinery maintenance, rising demand that's switched to summer gasoline, but by the end of the year, Phillips 66 is also going to be closing down a refinery, bringing the state total down to just 8 refineries that can produce CARB-mandated gasoline and diesel. So this is going to be a conversation you probably are going to hear about on a fairly regular basis. When refineries aren't perfectly running, there could be problems for California.
That also says it could be some time before we see a drop in gas prices.
Maybe a while, and potentially well beyond that. Again, because the PBF refinery Martinez that had a fire over a month ago is not likely to be fully back online until the end of the year. So if things aren't running just absolutely perfectly, you're probably going to be noticing gas prices are trending higher or may already be higher. There's not going to be a whole lot of relief until potentially, I would say, early to midsummer. June and July are the months that gas prices may start easing as supply builds up by then. But between now and then, I do expect that gas prices may get closer to the $5 a gallon mark, and they could exceed it briefly before things start to cool off.
I got that with Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan.
Well, something else is not cooling off. Home ownership getting further out of reach, especially for those first-time buyers.
The money needed to qualify for a mortgage in America has jumped a whopping 50% in 5 years. You'll need to make over $100,000 a year to afford a typical home. The reasons, according to Bankrate analyst Jeff Ostrowski,
home prices soared during the pandemic. They're still at record highs. And then the other factor is that mortgage rates have soared.
Soared to almost 7% now. It's tough for first-time home buyers. So Ostrowski says continue renting, save money, and consider your down payment options. Brad Gibson for CBS News.
It's 7:50.
Let's talk about markets again in the red today. Here's Bloomberg's Scott Carr.
Yeah, thanks. Good morning. The stock market rout continues, largely out of fears President Trump's next rollout of tariffs set for Wednesday is going to give a shock to the global economy, not just the U.S. economy, with rising concerns over a possible recession now, putting the S&P 500 on track for its worst quarter compared to the rest of the world since the 80s. The Dow is lower right now by 21 points. That's an improvement over what we've seen, but the Nasdaq's down 318 points. That's more than 1.8%. If you've been in the market for a new vehicle, well, you may want to join the crowd of folks that's reportedly racing to avoid what's expected to be that new 25% tariff on imported autos. Dealerships are sitting on about 60 to 90 days of inventory, which gives them a cushion against the immediate effects, but what happens after that supply runs out remains unclear. I'm Bloomberg Scott Carr from the Barrister office, Suites Money Desk on KNX News, 97.1 FM.
20 minutes of nonstop news. Brought to you by Ozeron Law, the Injured Workers Hotline. We do it weekdays at 7:30.
Got 10 minutes? Get caught up on what's happening in SoCal.
We have some crazy things in Los Angeles.
Promise, you won't be bored. There is genuine fear. Would you believe this is the story about the city budget? Let me ask you, can I use the F word? On a podcast, you can. Okay, all right. Follow the LA Local on your favorite podcast app. Brought to you by the LA Car Guy family of dealerships. See the inventory for all 12 dealerships at lacarguy.com.
The Legal Minute with attorney Joseph S. Normand.
When you're dealing with injuries and uncertainty, you need more than just an attorney. You need someone who truly listens, cares, and fights tirelessly to get you the justice and compensation you deserve. I'm Joseph S. Normand. At Normand Legal, we're redefining personal injury law right here in LA. Born and raised in this city, I'm not just a face on a billboard. When you call Normand Legal, I'll take your call, listen to your story, and make sure you get the medical care you need. I personally oversee every case. I get to know my clients, their stories, and I'll guide you through the process and fight on your behalf every step of the way. If you've been injured, call me. I'm here when you need me. It would be my honor to help. Call anytime, 213-747-2000, 213-747-2000, 213-747-2000, or normandlegal.com.
Jan from Toyota here. Have you felt cooped up from winter? Well, now until March 31st is the perfect time for a new Toyota, like Camry, Tundra, Grand Highlander, and more. So you can get back out there and do the things you love, like strapping your bikes into the bed of a Tundra to find some new trails. Too steep. Off-roading with your best buds in a 4Runner. Woohoo!
I feel alive again!
Packing a Camry full of plants to redo your garden. Whew, my green thumb is back. Loading up rods and reels into a Corolla Cross for a fly fishing trip. I got one! Hey! Sorry. And hitching up the boat to a Grand Highlander for a lake day.
I haven't water skied in a long time.
Live out your spring fantasies with a new Toyota. Come in today.
Go from dreaming it to driving it. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
Injured? Call attorney Joseph S. Normand, 213-747-2000.
All right, so decluttering your home may also help to declutter your mind.
The job of spring cleaning can help to declutter your living space as well as your mind, says the Cleveland Clinic.
It improves focus. We're often distracted by clutter and dirt, so once we get to taking care of it, there are fewer distractions around.
Psychologist Dr. Dawn Potter says spring cleaning can also create a sense of control and accomplishment.
You may not be feeling like it while it's still gray outside. However, capitalize on those good days and you will find that it will be much easier to get through it.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
7:55.
Traffic now, Susie Jessup.
You know, for that northbound side of the 110, it's pretty heavy and slow as you leave downtown and make your way into Montecito Heights. Car flipped over. Northbound side of the 110, this is right at Avenue 43. The two right lanes are blocked. It looks like they might be clearing this. I'm seeing another problem in that same area, northbound side of the 110 at Avenue 43. Possible fire up the embankment to add to that other. And right now, traffic isn't backed up all the way into downtown, but really heavy and slow as you're leaving Dodger Stadium. And we had a couple calls on the southbound side of the 110 right at York. This is a collision, a solo car collision. I'm seeing a lot of cars, just one car involved, and they're spinning out. Looks like they're clearing this off of the York Boulevard off-ramp from the southbound side of the 110. Wow, what a tough drive on that 60 westbound. Sabina has the info. Your Southern California Toyota dealers, Instant iView.
Yeah, it was several cars that collided 60 westbound at Atlantic Boulevard. A little bit of good news, though. They are moving everyone to the right side, but it is packed from San Gabriel Boulevard. I'm still looking at the 10 as an alternate through Monterey Park. That's a better-looking freeway to the 710.
Your 605 southbound loaded up from Beverly Boulevard to the 5 with all lanes open and clear. And that southbound side of the 5 jam-packed from the 710 to the 605. We did have Tiffany call up on the southbound 5 at Atlantic. There's a bumper that was partially blocking the left lane. Cars were serving to get around it. And wow, we had this big problem on that westbound side of the 118 at Rocky Peak. Two right lanes are blocked. We had a jackknife big rig, and traffic is backed up from before DeSoto for the westbound side of the 118, northbound side of the 5. That was heavy and slow as you make your way into San Fernando. Earlier wreck at San Fernando Mission, big clear over to the right. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5. It's Downey Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Staying below average with the rain. A hit and miss as we go through the day. Could get a little more tomorrow night, but looks like some more coming for us on Thursday.
Life moves fast. It's fierce, persistent, determined. At City of Hope, we are too. Relentless in our cancer research and breaking new ground. Our discoveries are reaching patients with life-saving speed. It's why we're ranked top 5 in the nation for cancer care. Because when it comes to cancer, every moment matters. City of Hope, pursuing cancer cures at the speed of life. Learn more at cityofhope.org. Are your floors feeling a little uneven? Doors and windows sticking? Noticing cracks in your walls?
Good morning. Yeah,
These
for
could
the
be
guest
signs of
pickup.
foundation issues. And in earthquake-prone Los Angeles, that's not something to ignore. At Golden Retrofit, we make homes safer with expert foundation repairs and earthquake retrofitting. We've helped thousands of homeowners protect their properties. And with top ratings and reviews, people trust us to get the job done right. Older homes with crawl spaces or raised foundations are especially at risk. So, strengthen your home against earthquake damage with a seismic retrofit. Even if everything looks fine, a free professional foundation inspection from Golden Retrofit can give you peace of mind. Call Golden Retrofit today for a free foundation inspection at 888-999-0609. That's 888-999-0609. Or visit goldenretrofit.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. far away, so the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call Grainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
KNX FM and HD Los Angeles.
This is Southern California's news.
Coming up, milestone this morning in that wildlife crossing over the 101. We're out there.
And there's been another earthquake in Southern California off the coast.
Gas prices are going up again 10 cents over the last few days, and the market's going down again over the tariffs. There's more of them this week. LA's Morning News.
Only on KNX News 97.1 FM.
8 o'clock.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Strong storms pose a threat to millions today after a weekend of deadly and severe weather. CBS's Jim Krasula.
Nearly 90 million people are under a severe weather threat today as the cleanup and damage assessment continues from strong storms, including suspected tornadoes over the weekend in the nation's heartland. Heather Marks lives in Roselawn, Indiana.
We heard a huge bang and a tree fell through our house. All four of my girls' rooms are destroyed.
A truck driver was killed in northern Indiana when winds blew over his rig. 3 people died and 3 were badly hurt when a tree fell onto a vehicle near Kalamazoo, Michigan.
The U.S. Army says 3 of the 4 missing soldiers in Lithuania have been found dead after recovering their armored vehicle today from a swamp. President Trump's new tariffs are due to roll out this week. Investment strategist Charles Lieberman tells CBS News.
The real question is whether or not prices will come down. Far more likely they will go up because it does increase the cost of goods coming into the country, and that's got to be reflected in final prices.
President Trump says he's not joking when he talks about serving a 3rd term. CBS's Weijia Jiang says comments about that came in an NBC interview.
President Trump says he is not ruling out seeking another term because he claims there are, quote, methods for doing so. He added that he's not joking, but there's a long way to go between now and then. The Constitution says no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and changing the Constitution requires a 2/3 vote in Congress or a constitutional convention where 34 states request it.
Zed O'Keefe is in Wisconsin, where voters decide this week on a hotly contested state Supreme Court battle that featured Elon Musk handing out million-dollar checks to 2 voters in his political action group.
So why all the attention and money spent on this race? Well, it's going to determine the ideological balance of the state Supreme Court, and they're expected to handle a series of hot-button issues in the coming years. Abortion, labor unions can organize state workers, and then perhaps most critically ahead of next year's midterm elections, congressional redistricting. And then, of course, Elon Musk. Some critics say he's got business interests here in the state. That's why he's so interested.
On the Health Watch, a just-released Danish study surveyed women who took hormonal contraceptives within the first year after giving birth. Dr. Soren Vincent Larsen authored that report.
They had an increased risk of being registered with a depression diagnosis or starting on antidepressant medication within that first year.
And checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 19 points. The S&P is down 39. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You could save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Visit Progressive.com.
From the downtown LA Law Group Injury Help Studios.
This is LA's Morning News.
On KNX News 97.1 FM.
Good morning, 8:03. I'm Mike Simpson.
Then I'm Larry Farrell in for Vicki Moore. Well, gas prices, they are on the rise again. Average cost of a gallon of regular gas up more than 10 cents over the past 3 days, and now it stands at $4.81. In Orange County, the average now rising nearly 2 cents overnight to $4.79 a gallon. And the rise in demand, the switch to the summer blend and refinery issues behind. We talked to gas buddy Patrick DeHaan about it. Tells us we won't see prices go down anytime soon.
We likely will continue to see prices go up another 10 to 25 cents a gallon over the next week or so as supply continues to tighten because of these refinery outages and maintenance.
He says the price could eventually hit the $5 mark later this spring, and we won't see relief at the gas pump until maybe June or July.
It was one part block party, one part protest. People calling on Caltrans to get Topanga Canyon Boulevard back open. There was a rally yesterday trying to send that message. Close since the fires in January, then the rains in February and caused the mud and debris flows and clogged the road up, caused even more damage. One business owner telling KCAL News some people are just moving out.
Or to live in my state.
and 3 gave me notice in the last few months. And